Hi there, Mr. Dunaway here as we begin Chapter 5, Section 1, talking about Introduction to Ratios. Hopefully this feels pretty easy for you. I think it's some basic stuff, a couple of tricky things toward the end, and hopefully we'll get you through just fine. We'll see how that goes. So you should have this paper in front of you, and it just begins with our definition today is the word ratio. Ratio is used when we want to compare two things, two quantities, and we compare them using division. Division goes in this blank line. So anytime we're comparing two different things uh, to each other, that's what we call a ratio. And there's three ways to write a ratio. Three ways. You can write it actually with the word 2, like 3 to 9. You can write it with a colon, like there, but it's when you say that, you would say 3 to 9. Or you could write it as a fraction, which what we have been doing in our previous chapter. And it can look like algebra. It doesn't have to be numbers like we could say A to B. Maybe we're comparing apples to bananas, A to B or A over B. All right, another thing that we do in this section is we look at how to do a ratio if we need to make a conversion. So you're going to need to have access to these conversions here, and you'll have them on in your notes here as we do the problems on the next side there. So I'll be referring to this on the back page here in just a moment. So why don't you turn your paper over and let's take a look at just some pretty simple things to do here, I hope. I'll just go along and do it, and hopefully you can catch right on and be ready for class with your notes. Here it says express each ratio as a fraction in simplest form. Okay, simplest form means you want to reduce it all the way. And number 1 says 12 boys to 16 girls. All right, well, if we're going to, they asked us to write it as a fraction, so we're just going to say 12 boys over 16 girls. Now you do need to reduce that. You notice that they're both even numbers, so I am going to divide them both by, let's see here, I could actually divide them by 4. I was about to say 2, but I realized that 4 goes into both of those. So 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. So the fraction ratio of boys to girls is 3/4. And there you go, it's that simple. Let's take a look at number 2. Let's say they have 24 out of 60 light bulbs. Maybe they're comparing certain colors of light bulbs. Maybe you have 24 blues to 16. Maybe these are Christmas lights or something like that. Anyway, we don't know, but they're comparing 24 out of 60. So we would write 24 out of 60. And then we would reduce that. Now, actually the number, both of these numbers are divisible by 12. And we want to reduce them all the way down, and that comes out to be 2/5, 2 to 5. So that means you have 2 out of 5, or if we use the example I said, let's say they're comparing blues to all of them. For every 5 light bulbs you have 2 blues, is what that means. There, let's take a look at number 3. It says 36 DVDs out of 84 DVDs. Okay, so we would write 36 out of 84. You might be wondering, well, what would that be? Well, maybe that's 36 certain that are a certain style of music. Like maybe they have 36 rock and roll CDs out of their collection of 84 CDs total. Anyway, that's what they're doing there. But we do need to reduce this again, and they are both divisible by the number 12. So if I divide them both by 12, that works out to be 3 out of 7. Okay, number 4, 50 tiles to 25 tiles. 50 out of 25, that's a really easy one. Hopefully you see they're both divisible by 25. 25 goes into 50 twice and into 25 once. It's 2 out of 1, 2 to 1. And number 5, Mrs. Blackwell's class. They want us to explain this one. There's 15 out of 24 students that play sports. Express the ratio as a fraction in simplest form and explain it. Okay, so we have some explaining to do in this particular question. We have 15 sports playing people. So I'll just say 15 sports. They're students that play sports out of 24 total. Okay, out of 24 total students. Now let's reduce that. They're both divisible by 3, actually. So I'm going to divide that by 3 and divide that by 3. We're reducing this here. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And 24 divided by 3 is 8. So the meaning is this. It means for every 8 students, 5 of them play sports, which is what that means. Simply put, it's a comparison of two things using division. 5 out of 8. All right, and that gets us through number 5. Now let's take a look at these conversions in the bottom half of your page here, and we might be able to get this wrapped up in one video. That'd be exciting. In this particular question, now here is what you have to realize here. They're asking you to write a ratio in simplest form, but you notice what they have here. They have 3 pints. You're comparing 3 pints. You're comparing that to 4 quarts. Well, okay, you can't do that unless you get the same type of measurement. So add this note here that you must convert to the same type of unit or measure. Okay, well, in the previous, on the other side of your paper, this page here, I gave you all of the conversions that you need. And this particular question says you're comparing pints and quarts. Okay, and pints and quarts are this conversion right here, that 1 quart is 2 pints. Okay, so I'll put that note here that 1 quart is 2 pints. All right, well, the easiest thing for me to do then would be, since I know that 1 quart makes 2 pints, if I just multiply this, the 4, times 2, because those are quarts, okay, and I leave this one the same, that 3 pints is the same thing. Now 4 quarts would be 8 pints. Okay, so you have to make these match by converting one of those to one that matches here. So the easiest thing, since I know 1 quart makes 2 pints, would just be to double the number of quarts. So the answer there is 3 out of 8. All right, if I'm comparing, again, ratios are about comparing two things using division. 3 pints to 4 quarts is the same thing as 3 pints to 8 pints. There. Okay, let's look at number 7. If you're confused, maybe this will help. Here it says compare 2 pounds to 6 ounces. All right, and on the other side of your paper, what we told you is that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. All right, so we can't do anything here until I change, in this case, the pounds to ounces. Since 1 pound is 16, okay, 2 pounds would be 32 ounces. You see how now I have the same measure, the unit measure here? I have 32 out of 6, and now I can divide those both by 2. I can reduce that now and say that 2 pounds to 6 ounces is the same thing as 16 ounces to 3 ounces, or 16 to 3 is really the answer right here. 16 out of 3, and the labels just help me to get there. Okay, let's wrap this up with 8 and 9. 9 says 9 inches. We want to compare, again, it's a ratio. So you're comparing 9 inches to 1 yard, and the other side of the paper will tell you that 1 yard, or this one you might know, especially you football players, that 1 yard is equal to 12 inches. That's not right. 1 yard is not equal to 12 inches. Let's go back. I hope that's not what it says there. Yeah, that's it. 1 yard is 36 inches. I had it wrong on my notes in front of me. Sorry about that. Let's change that. 1 yard is not 12 inches. 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 yard is 36 inches. I saw that written down, and I was afraid I had it wrong on your paper. Okay, 1 yard is 36 inches. That makes a little more sense to us now. Okay, if I know that 1 yard is 36 inches, okay, if I multiply that 1 yard times 36, I have 9 out of 36. And now I have inches and inches, and I can reduce that down to 1 out of 4 because I'm going to divide them both by 9. And let's wrap it up here. I get this done in one video. Nice day for you here today. If I want a ratio of 6 gallons to 3 quarts. All right, what's the conversion? I better look here to make sure I don't mess you up on this one. Gallons and quarts, it's right here. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. Okay, so 1 gallon is 4 quarts. Okay, so let's multiply the gallons by 4 and turn those into quarts. If one of them is 4, 6 times 4 is 24 out of 3. And we reduce that down. 3 actually goes into 24 8 times, so you have 8 over 1 or 8. It's the answer to number 9. So there you have it. That's the main thing for today. Hopefully easy day for you. If you have questions on those conversions here, bring those to class and we'll get it done.